welcome everybody to another episode of Sprinkle Happiness. I am Nev, your host, and I'm here again with my wonderful friend Nicole Klenk to dive into the topic that affects all of us, healing your inner child. We all carry it. We have wounds from our past, moments where we felt unseen, unloved, unsafe, unheard, and sometimes we move through life with these wounds and our old stories still shape our relationship. It still shape how we live our life today. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
So we want to explore more. Yeah, let's just welcome Nicole. Nicole, I'm so excited to have you again. We have talked a few times before and we have discovered that this is such an important topic because we all have it. We all have this injured child in us that we never really pay attention anymore because we think now we are adults that child doesn't exist anymore. Yes, it's still in us. So where do we even begin, Nicole, to uncover the layers and start healing our inner child?
Let's dive right into it where it hurts. When you were talking about the inner child, I was preparing for another topic, but the spontaneous stuff is the best, right? Instantly, I had a situation in mind where my children, when they were young, triggered me. So, I have two boys. They're now 14 and 16 years old. And back then they were about 2 and 4 or 3 and 5 or something like that. Boys are active and they're exactly the way I wished for them to be and very, very active. And sometimes I felt like it's better to wear a helmet or one of those football outfits because they were so all over the place. And I remember one time, my little one, he was not even 2-year-old. He was, I think, much younger. He found it funny to hit me in the face. And I realized that one time I acted harsher than I wanted to do. I believe every parent can relate to that.
Yes.
You think thoughts, and at the same time, you wonder, how can I think these thoughts? I'm a loving mom. How can I think that? Or where you would love to, you really have to hold on, but where you would really love to, grab the child a bit tighter than you intended to, that's the moment when you realize, oh, my child is triggering me. And that's also the moment where you realize, ooh, there's a wound.
Yes.
This scar, yes. Kids have this talent to scratch, and then it opens up and it bleeds, and then there's pus and all of that messy stuff, life with children is messy. Then I realized, oh my God, there's a wound that is not healed yet. So part of my inner child was not healed yet. So I went back to my coach, my lovely coach who passed away, unfortunately now. Hello to you, Marianne, in heaven. And we were talking about what happened to me as a child. And I realized when I was 12 years old, I was bullied very badly by older girls. They were already 15. I was 12, and they would hit me and shame me and call me very bad names. It was really bad. One of them hit me in the face. And then at a fair in our village, they told a boy, we were driving auto scooters. Do you have that?
Yes.
And one boy was driving by and he would out of nowhere, without any reason, would hit me in the face. And these girls made him do that. And that's when I realized being hit in the face, that triggers something, triggers me more than I wanted. That was actually a very, very good moment and a very good opportunity for me to heal that, to talk about it, not with my children, of course, but with my coach, or if you want to talk about these things with your partner or with your best friend, or write it down in a diary if you don't have a best friend, or journal it. But it's
Yes.
really important to talk it out, to get it all out of your system, so it doesn't have to trigger you anymore. Because when you have two little boys, of course you get hit once in a while.
Oh
And
my gosh.
you know that.
Yes, I can so relate.
Yes, absolutely.
I have been massively bullied too when I was little. It was terrible, but also, I was born and raised in Germany. I was also different, so I was minority and I was the youngest. My voice didn't matter and I was a girl growing up in a patriarchal culture. So I had like all these limiting beliefs that was coming my way and I adopted it as my own. And now I'm in the process of it's going to be a lifelong process, Nicole. I know that. But I know there is this little girl that still feels very insecure and that is still wounded. So what you're sharing is so relatable and we all have it to some degree and yeah, I'm not the only one. Bullying is really affecting a lot of people.
Yes, absolutely. And I believe when you realize that you are triggered and that there is this wound that is not scarred yet, but it's still bleeding. My coach, she told me to meet my inner child. And I know exactly how old that inner child was and how she looked and what she needed. And I just gave her in my imagination what she needed, like a big hug and telling her, you're worth it. So you're basically telling yourself you're worth it. But you mother or your father, because men have that as well, right? Your father and mother, you parent your inner child, and that is so beautiful. And it works. It really works. You can always be the parent or be the love that you did not have in that moment.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And so, where do we even begin? Like, where do we start? Like, I think visualization, really imagining your 12-year-old, like, really, maybe you like close your eyes, imagine your 12 or 15-year-old self. What does she or he wants right now? How can you just give that little what it needs?
Yeah, I remember I did this exercise with my coach, and I did not imagine the 12-year-old that was bullied. That was fascinating. But my coach told me, go back to your first memory. And I saw myself in a bed. I was not even 1 year old, in a bed. And I picked up and just carried that baby and just hold it. And that was the moment when I was very emotional, very vulnerable, which is very, very important to get in touch with your feelings and give that child what it needed. So I was carrying it and I was, whispering to it. And even now when I'm telling you all this stuff, all these loving feelings come back and you can practice that. And whenever you need that love or whatever the child needed, of course, most of the times it's love and the feeling of being enough, because everybody has the feeling once in a while of not
Oh
being
my gosh, the imposter syndrome is real. Yes.
right. I mean, you can achieve so many things, but still think, am I enough? Is that even seen? Am I loved? Am I enough? So yeah, absolutely. So this is something we all should practice more. And you can do it with your eyes open. You don't have to close your eyes and go back to that first memory. You can just, stand in the shower and just imagine you're holding and hugging your inner child or whispering to it or tell yourself, you're worth it. It's fine. It's good. But the
Yeah.
really important thing is that you feel that emotion. I believe it's not enough that you tell yourself, oh, I'm lovable and I'm great and all of that. I believe you have to mix the words with the matching emotion.
I love that. I love that. Many times we think, just not by thinking about it or talking about it, it somehow doesn't exist anymore. But it's still there. The wounds are still there, whether you talk about it or not. It affects your relationship. It affects your relationship with yourself and your confidence and everything, every part of your life. It has because our sense of self, our blueprint is pretty much set and created by the age of 7. And then we walk through life with whatever blueprint, with the programming we have created by then, mostly by other people's input, their judgment, everything is like becomes part of us. And I wanna tell our listeners here, you can turn your wounds into your wisdom. It's not about forgetting about your past and trying, pretending that it doesn't exist. It's about embracing it. It's part of you. What did it teach you? You are who you are because of it. What do you think, Nicole?
It's interesting because I just had a client leaving my practice, and she's 14, and she has yeah, tremendous problems and experienced a lot of problems and obstacles and experienced a lot of struggles. So I asked her which struggles were the hardest, and at the same time, if you look back, gave you the most. And then she told me that when her best friends bullied her, she realized that was actually the best thing that could have happened to her because it made her so strong. And this is exactly what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Those things that hurt the most could turn into something very precious and something that makes you grow and something that helps you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was actually just creating some content this morning about, life is not supposed to be cushy. It's not just about a smooth road. There are always going to be ups and downs, and when you embrace those ups and downs, that is the moment you be free, you become free, you become peaceful. Instead of chasing happiness, you just decide to be happy right here in the moment and focus on all the things you have, all the blessings you have. And every our Thanksgiving is getting closer. I don't think there's Thanksgiving in Germany, right? There's no Thanksgiving.
We don't celebrate it, but I
Let's
know.
let's just make a list of all the things that we are so grateful for. Not like a wish list, like our Christmas wish list. Make a list of all the things that you're so grateful for. And that could really include challenges too. What are the challenges? Yeah, you're so grateful for, Nicole. I remember some of them. I'm like, thank God that happened back then. It was a disaster. Looking back, it was one of the biggest gift. Life was guiding me to the right direction. Can you recall some of those moments?
Yes, absolutely. Many, many moments. But I think sometimes the challenge is when you're down, when you're not, I always say life comes in waves. You just have to learn how to surf the waves, right? But when you're down, you don't see it.
You don't see it.
Don't see it, and sometimes you can't believe it that it's gonna go up again, right?
Yes.
So yeah, sometimes I think I imagine myself in times of being down or low, being in a tunnel and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and believing, nothing is forever. Nothing lasts forever. That song November Rain comes to my mind.
Yes.
Even though November Rain. Yeah, it's true. The good things stay past and also the bad experiences. Yeah.
Yes. Nothing lasts. Even the happy moments don't last. So enjoy it while it's there.
Right. Yeah.
And we get so clingy, don't we? We clinge to the people that we love. You feel like we own them, and we don't want to lose them, and we suffocate each other.
Mm.
Just
Absolutely.
just appreciate everything that's around you, the good and the bad, and that's called life. Life experience comes in all shapes, right?
Absolutely. I truly believe there's a reason for everything. I remember I lived in New York for a couple of years, and then I moved back to Germany. I absolutely hated it. And then I wanted to go back. And then a headhunter called me up. And I did, a lot of interviews for a consulting firm. And the job would have been perfect for me, living in Germany and then traveling to New York at least 3 times a month, back and forth to London. So that would have been a dream for me. And at the end, there were only two people left, me and a native speaker, and she got the job. And I thought I was devastated. Why is this happening to me? It actually happened for me because 2 years later, was it 1 year later? Yeah. Um, 2 years later, I sat in a train traveling to Hamburg, and I had a boyfriend back then in Hamburg. And that was in 2001 in September. And some girls were talking about, the towers coming down in New York, the Twin Towers. That's when I realized, wow, if I had gotten the job, I would have been in these towers. So there's a reason why I didn't got this job.
Yes.
It wasn't meant for me.
Yeah.
You don't know the reason, but I truly believe I do have this faith, this core in me, this solid core, this foundation that truly believes there's always a reason and it's always for my best. Even though in the moment I don't know what it is. But yeah, that was one of these moments in my life where I realized, oh God. And then while these women were talking on the train, uh, I was looking, I was breaking down and cried.
Yes.
Looking at me like very weird because I just realized, wow, I could have died.
Yes. My gosh. I had a very similar experience. That was the year that I moved to the US, and I was standing in front of the towers, and I looked up as a former banker. That's a dream. Like, oh my gosh, this beautiful high rise. I wish I would be working here. That was my wish. And shortly after the towers collapsed, I'm like, gosh, I'm so guided. Some of the things that you wish for are not meant for you.
Absolutely.
And what a blessing. What a blessing it is. So, going back to healing your inner child, because I feel so guided. How do you feel, Nicole? Like, I feel like everything's happening for a reason. A friend of mine shared a really powerful quote with me that resonated deeply with me. And she said, what misses you was never meant for you, and what is meant for you will never miss you.
Wow, that's powerful. Absolutely.
So what is meant for you will not miss you. So don't compare yourself to anybody's success. It's really easy to go into this rat race with everybody else. Oh, everybody seems to have figured it out. Everybody seems to be much happier and more successful and having more resources and doing all these amazing things. And it's just, and we forget one thing, that everybody's posting about their perfect moments, and some of those moments are not even real, right? Everybody's struggling. Is having this hurt child on the inside. Everybody's having wounds and challenges. Whether you're rich or you're poor, everybody has something that they're struggling with.
Yes. And you don't know what it's good for. Like today, I also feel like I'm not in my peak state. My head is hurting a bit. I feel a bit vulnerable, but maybe this is exactly what people need out there. Maybe I don't know what it's good for. I mean, I cannot be always 100% on top of everything, or I cannot always feel great or in peak state. Sometimes I just have to allow myself to rest, just to, yeah, not be successful, or
Yes.
rest and think about, like you asked me in the beginning, what can we celebrate? And sometimes you have to think about what is going on in your life, because life is so busy sometimes and you're doing so many things and you think, oh, I haven't done or I haven't achieved anything.
Mhm.
Just not true, because you're always achieving, you're always doing something. By the way, you don't have to achieve something every day. I mean, who
Oh
says
my gosh.
that,
Thank you.
right?
Thank you. Thank you for this reminder. Thank you. Thank you. You don't have to just chase your goals every day. Stop chasing and start being. Stop rushing through life and start living life.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like rushing through life and wake up when I'm 80, 85 and look back, oh my gosh, what did I do this all for? Chase, chase, and always the next and the next. I want to really slow down life, and you slow down when you stop the noise. Stop the noise. The noise, just, it can be your phone, it can be anything. Just be, connect with your inner self, connect with nature and with the people that you love. I
Yes.
think that's the secret to happiness, is really spend more time with the people that you love and focus on what you have and be grateful for life's all challenges and all blessings.
This is so funny because today I thought, I should do this and that, and I should learn about Instagram, or everybody's doing Instagram, everybody's doing reels. I don't know. I don't even know how to use a reel. I'm so behind. And then I thought, no, I realized that I haven't done my meditations in a couple of weeks now. In the past weeks, I haven't done my meditations, and I need to do them to connect with myself. And then I'm going out with my husband tonight, and we're going to my favorite restaurant. And this is something I'm looking so much forward to, just relax and stop hustling and stop doing, just to connect with myself Just like you said, leadership and connecting with others, what is important is that you connect with yourself first, because there is no connection with others if you're in Germany we say stehen, which means you're not within yourself, you stand right next to yourself. I don't know if the translation is good, but it's not, you're not within yourself, you're not in your center.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you. That is hitting home. That is all I'm studying. The art and science of happiness. That's exactly what we are talking about. Is, sometimes we get it all wrong. And learned just learning it. I'm still a work in progress.
We all
That
are.
self-care is selfish. I thought, oh, you're being so selfish, trying to meet your own needs. You need to do this for this and this for this person. And you're like, we are so focused on others, which is great. We want to be a good parent, a good friend, but the way we show up, when we show up with our cups full, we can be better. We can give the best version of ourselves and not just what's left over. So that's where your superpower is. When you're at your best, your energy is higher and you vibrate at a higher level. Now you pull people up.
Absolutely.
Don't you? Yes, you vibrate on a higher level, and people want to get drawn to you. People want to learn from you. People want to spend time with you, and then now they're asking questions. So as soon as I share with people, I'm studying happiness, and this is my journey. And the first impression is first they laugh. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? Your master's in happiness, and it's just so silly. Okay, they are doctors and they are focusing to optimize your health and help you live longer. But doesn't people want to be healthy and happy? Happy. People want, everybody on this earth wants to be happy. Why is so many people not being happy, whether rich or poor? Mental health is skyrocketing. The richer we get as a nation, the higher and more people are suffering. That's not a coincidence. Happiness is art, it's science, and it is changing. It changed my life once I started knowing really what this is the real thing right here. I realized I got it all wrong. It all starts with me.
Absolutely. Yes, it all starts with you. And it has nothing to do with being egocentric or selfish. Not at all. Because if your cup is not full, you cannot give, right? Such an old saying, but this is it. So you have to take care of yourself. I don't like the word self-care because it's so misused and so used so many times. And this is where we can come back to the previous topic or the topic of today, right? So you start with yourself, you start embracing your inner child. If it's the little baby or the 12-year-old that has been bullied, or the 54-year-old that is here feeling vulnerable and not on top of her, whatever, in peak state, caress yourself, take yourself in the arms.
Yes.
Feel and try to be in your center again and feel yourself and rest. Let all these alarm hormones, all of this adrenaline, cortisol, and all of these hormones settle or get out of the body and get calm, be centered. And then you can give, and then you can shine on.
Yes. Thank you for sharing this, Nicole.
I don't know. Yeah, this is what I feel right now.
And I find the work that you do so, so important. I want to share that with our listeners because, I don't think we have covered what you've been doing. So if there are any smokers out there and you want to quit smoking and live a healthier and happier life, she is your expert right here. Nicole is saving lives for over 20 years and she's so successful. She was even on TV, major German TV channel, and started a stop smoking challenge. Highly, highly successful show. Tell us a little bit, Nicole, because I think because smoking is an addiction and that can also be linked to the reason why you're smoking, maybe linked to your childhood experiences. Maybe it's a way of soothing yourself.
Well, a lot of addictions are, but actually smoking is not so much connected with missing something from childhood, but other connections are, other addictions are. So people who are very well connected or have this experience of being worthy, of having faith, these people tend not to get addicted as fast or as much as people who did not experience a good bombing. But with nicotine, it's a bit different because nicotine is one of the fastest addictive substances that we have. It's a bit different with nicotine and the correlation with connection, but all the other addictions like eating disorders, I work a lot with families because I'm also a family coach. I work a lot with families who have children or have problems themselves with eating disorders like bulimia or anorexia or adipositas, eating a lot. And there is a very, very strong correlation of having the experience of a strong connection or not. Absolutely.
Hmm. It's interesting.
Yes, but whoever wants to quit smoking, I am actually one of the best in the world. I can.
Yes, I know. How do people find you, Nicole? How can they book you? How can they start their journey?
Yes, on our website, I have a website for my family coaching, and you can connect me, get in contact with me. It's nicoleklenk.de. And then, yeah, I can give you all the details.
Yes, we'll definitely share.
You can still stream it. It's a German television network. It's called RTL Plus. It's a 3-hour show, and you can still stream it for free.
Awesome. Can they find it on YouTube or can they watch it?
Well, not on YouTube, but they can find it at RTL Plus. And it's called Endlich Nichtraucher, finally non-smoker.
Wow, that was a really popular show. I have watched snippets of it.
Yes, yes.
Congratulations. That's such a huge milestone. That's awesome. People like smoking in Germany. Like I go to Germany all the time. It's so popular that people don't even realize how bad it is. Like everybody's doing it. It cannot be that bad.
Yes. And unfortunately, I asked my children, and my 16-year-old went to a party last weekend, and he said, wow, so many teenagers are starting to smoke because that wasn't the case the last couple of years because smoking became so expensive. But now it's very much in fashion again. They vibe to do e-cigarettes, normal cigarettes, marijuana, hashish, all of that. So it's very bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and there is also this misconception, Nicole, that vaping is not as harmful. Of course, there's no nicotine. Like I have written books on drug addiction and I've researched on that too. It's very common for those vaping substances to be mislabeled, even if it says nicotine free. There is still harmful toxic substances, even traces of nicotine.
Absolutely, yeah. And the big problem is since you're thinking, oh, it smells like strawberry, so it's probably not that harmful.
Yeah.
On that thing the whole time, like you use it as like a pacifier. The other day, I went with a friend of mine to visit somebody in a different city, and that girl, she quit smoking normal cigarettes, but then she was vaping, but she was doing it constantly for 3 hours. I had such a big headache. I couldn't stand it anymore. And it's so dangerous. You can get these bubble lungs or popcorn lungs, which is very harmful for your lung. And the addiction is even stronger because you're doing it all the time.
Mhm.
Even it's not that harmful, and it actually is. So there's a lot of research out there. Yeah, it's really, really bad.
How do you tell your teen not to when they're already started? Like when they're teen, when they're 16, 17, how do you just support your teen? I know how challenging that is because you're not with them all the time and they're so under the influence of media, so under the influence of their friends. Oh, everybody's doing it. And they want to fit in. They want to belong. We all have this innate desire to belong to a community. How do we help and guide and protect our children?
That's the reason why I started smoking. Well, I was a smoker. Otherwise, I could not understand a smoker. That's the reason. I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so successful because I'm in their boat, so to speak. I was in their shoes. I'm not against smokers. I'm against nicotine. I'm against but not I'm against the person. So people feel the connection. People feel that. And I believe that is something very, very important that you connect with your teenager first that you're not against him, that you don't come with the finger, I'm telling you not to, and this is bad for you. I mean, every smoker knows it's bad for you. Everyone knows. I'm not telling my clients, and it's, by the way, it's very expensive and it's bad for your health. I mean, they know that already. What I do with my clients and what I would do with my teenager, if they would ever start smoking, I would try to make them convince me to smoke again. I would ask them, give me one good thing about it. And then that's what I actually do in my seminars. I demystify the nicotine or the cigarette because people think, oh, it relaxes me. But then they smoke not only to get relaxed, they also smoke if they're on vacation laying on the beach and they are already relaxed, right? So I demystify all the reasons for smoking and I help them to realize that smoking makes you anxious. Smoking makes you build up a lot of fear and a lot of alarm. Like there is no non-smoker in this world who gets alarmed or fearful at 1 o'clock in the morning because there are no cigarettes in the house.
Yeah.
People can be very alarmed and fearful.
Yeah.
Have a panic attack.
Uh,
He or she realizes, oh my
yeah.
God, no cigarettes in the house, and then you do the stuff like a junkie does. Once one of my friends called me at 4 o'clock in the morning and she said, I'm a pig. And I said, why are you waking me up and telling me you're a pig? You're not a pig. She said, yeah, I'm a pig because I killed the, what's the name for it in English? Sparschwein, those little
The piggy bank?
piggy bank. Yeah, he killed piggy bank of her child, 5-year-old child, to get change, coins. Poor
No.
she did, and she said, "Oh, I feel so bad. How could I do that?" And I said, "See, this is what cigarette or nicotine. This is what addiction does to you. You actually
Yes.
have to be very honest to yourself.
Yes.
What
That's
you
not a nice thing to do.
I know I would do these things. Like one night I would watch a movie and I realized the cigarette pack was empty and it was almost towards the end, So I had to be fast. So I was, keeping on the pajamas, putting on my jacket. It was -2 degrees outside. I ran to the cigarette machine, put in the money. That was back in the days where they didn't have cigarette machines, where you could just put your credit card in. And I smoked, you had to put in coins. And usually the sound does clack clack when it works, when the coins go through. But if I put the money in, it only did clack, and I heard the sound, and I knew the coins are stuck. Shit, what am I gonna do? So I tried to get out the money, no money. I tried to get out cigarettes. What brand? At that point, I didn't care anymore, what brand. I was ready to smoke anything, And then I'm a very loving person. I'm very kind. I'm very gentle normally. But you should have seen me. I was getting so frustrated. I was like kicking the cigarette machine. Somebody opened the door at 1 o'clock in the morning, and not the door, the window. They were yelling out, "We're going to call the police." I said, "Yeah, you call the police. I'm calling the police. That stupid machine, it ate my money. I want my fucking money back."
Are you serious?
I'm serious. This was me. This was me. And I was kicking the machine and my cigarettes didn't come out. And I was just very, very frustrated, very aggressive.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Cigarette, And then you smoke one and then you believe that bullshit that smoking relaxes. But the cigarette did not relax me. The cigarette put me into this situation. So we believe that smoking relaxes. But if that would be the case, every chain smoker, we would be the most relaxed person on earth and, dance on the table.
Yeah. Yes. And you never get enough. I have my sister is still smoking after probably 25, 30 years. And I'm like, didn't you get enough yet? Like, it's like you smoked enough. Like, when is it gonna be enough, honey? It just tastes the same, and you're like, I don't want to lose you. I love you so much, but yeah, how do you even begin to encourage somebody that really enjoys? I worked with inmates before, And I had people telling me they love being high, even though the lady that told me, she, bless her heart, she's now deceased for several years because of overdose, that she loved being high. Can't help somebody that does not want to be helped. Motivation comes from within and not from pressure. Oftentimes, we want to help our loved ones, stop smoking, stop this, stop that. But real change comes when we really, truly want it. You can influence somebody, but you can't control or change anybody.
I use that example. If you use other substances like heroin or cocaine, I'm not saying, quit smoking and start doing heroin or alcohol. I'm not saying that. But if you use these substances, at least you get a high, at least. There's something happening in your brain. If you drink alcohol, one gets tired, the other one gets really silly or funny, the other one gets aggressive. Something is happening with you. But with nicotine, there's nothing happening.
There's nothing happening. Plus, you smell like shit.
Yeah, and that's why, if you tell somebody, why do you do it? There's a downside to smoking. There's another downside to it. And it's not healthy and it's a lot of money. You only awake the counter will in the person. And the counter will is an instinct,
Yes.
And with some people, this counter will goes, on very easily and very fast. With some people, less. But if you would have told me, I quit smoking 25 years ago, but I smoked for 15 years. At the end of my smoker's career, I smoked 2 packs a day.
My gosh. Ew, that's called a chain smoker.
Chain smoker. But if you would have told me smoking is bad for you and are you allowed to do that and it's not good for the skin or whatever, I would have put 2 cigarettes in my mouth.
Yes, you push. That's what Tony Robbins says, right? You push.
I don't understand you anymore. I think your mic is out. Is your mic out? No, I don't hear you anymore. Yeah, now.
You hear me?
Yes, now I hear you again.
Okay, let's cut. Let's cut this piece. Yeah, everybody wants to be in control and nobody likes being told what to do.
Yes, yes. But the thing is, if you smoke, you're not in control. That was actually the point when I realized, okay, I want to quit because I want to, not because it's unhealthy, not because and I didn't have money back then, I would go to the discount store, to the Jack's 99-cent store to save some money for some soup, $1 for some soup. But when I was in London, a pack of cigarettes was £7.10 back then, 30 years ago. But I would go to the discounter to save some money on food, which is really nourishing.
Yes, you save on other areas. Yes.
But if you would have told me smoking is so expensive, I would have smoked 2 or 3 cigarettes just to show you I don't give a shit.
People hate being controlled.
For it, I'm worth it, or whatever stupid thing I would have said, because the counter will is so big.
The counter will.
So if you have a teenager, who smokes, or a good friend, or your spouse, don't tell him or her about the negative sides. They know already. They know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ask them, so what's the good part of it? Try to convince me to smoke again. That's what I always do with my clients. I always bring, I have this. I have to show you this.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
So here.
Are you serious? Are these the packs from your show?
Yes, this is the packs from my show. And in my TV show, we put, I collect these. I collect these because when people quit smoking, they throw their last pack of cigarettes onto this big mountain of cigarettes. In my TV show, we had cigarettes that a smoker smokes on average in 10 years. Huge pile of cigarettes. Yes. So I always tell them, if you give me one good reason to smoke, I'll start immediately because, I have cigarettes for free and I could provide you cigarettes for free. I give you the whole box, bag full, if you can give me one good reason to smoke.
Yeah.
It helps for boredom, or it helps for whatever, the first in the morning or the last before you go to bed or this and that. It helps when you're hungry. That's what I used to think. Yeah. But I would also smoke after a big meal to digest better. So what?
Yes. It's just
Get full, or does it help you to get empty? I mean, it's like a wonder magic drug.
Yes,
It
it's a
doesn't
never ending cycle. It never ends.
only what you want it to do for you. That's what it does for you. But it's
Yeah.
fooling yourself. And the most important thing for me to quit smoking was I realized I'm not behind the wheel of my life. I'm not in charge. The cigarette is. The cigarette
Hmm.
charge. It tells me if I'm in a good mood or I'm in a bad mood or whatever. And I hated that. I wanted to have the feeling that I'm in charge. Of course, we're not always in.
Yes. That is very beautifully said. Very beautifully said. And that goes with anything, like whatever addiction you may have.
Yes.
Right here,
Yes.
phone, a phone, that is our newest addiction. So is the phone controlling you or you control the phone? So I really started not getting on my phone first thing in the morning. And I feel in charge. In the morning, you see all these messages that came through overnight and whatever, all the reminders. It's challenging to resist, but the last couple days I've been resisting and I'm so proud of I feel like I am in charge. I decide when I want to get on it. I want to prioritize my morning routine. I want to get my coffee. I want to just do my breath work and all that good stuff. I decide, not people. Nobody's going to decide when I get on my phone. So I think really having autonomy, feeling in charge is huge. Ask yourself, whatever addiction you have going on, and we all have it, who is in charge here? That's a
Yes.
great, powerful question.
Who's in charge? Absolutely. That is beautiful. I just wrote an article. Whoever can read German or Google can translate it, right?
Where is it? Where can we find it?
It'll be on Sunday on my website. I have a blog, a parental blog, and I wrote an article exactly on this topic. Not children being on their smartphones, but the parents or adults being on their smartphones the whole time. And this is so frustrating for children because let's just imagine, we would talk and I would go like this all the time. I mean, you would feel disconnected and we would be disconnected because oh yeah, really? Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, right. It's so frustrating,
Oh my
right?
gosh, I hate it. I hate it. You know what's the worst part to me? Like you're on your phone
Yeah.
and you tell your kids not to.
Great.
Like,
Wonderful.
where is your
Beautiful role model.
like they have why would they not? That goes with for addictions. That goes for, alcohol, telling your child one thing, but people children model what you do and not what you tell them to do. It's so important just to lead by example and to heal your inner child. So your children don't need therapy down the road because you did not do your own work. Sometimes you can do this own work yourself, and sometimes you need help from experts like a family coach like Nicole or a psychologist or a psychiatrist, right? We all need somebody that can guide us, even though when we know the truth, even though we know we need somebody to tell us, somebody that holds us accountable.
When we get children, we believe, oh, we do this instinctively, but we don't. It's not. Like sometimes I thought, oh, instinctively, I would like to yell at my child, but it's not a good thing.
Hmm.
It's not an instinctive thing, the whole parenting thing. And it's just, when my mom had me, she did what her mom did. If it was good or not, that's another topic, right?
Yes.
These days, we need guidance. We need somebody to follow and give us some inspiration, not to tell us exactly what to do, but some inspiration, some guidance, because it is not instinctively. If
Yeah.
you do everything instinctively, like yell at your child or throw it out of the
Yeah.
window,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
It's not easy. It's not easy. But especially when you have your first child, you don't know how to be a parent yet. You just kind of figure it out as you go. And we all make mistakes down the road. So don't be hard on yourself. Forgive yourself and others. Forgive your parents. They weren't perfect. My parents weren't perfect, but they provided and they did the best they could with what they had. And I am so grateful for their shortcomings, for everything that they taught me. We are who we are because of them. So nobody's perfect. So this Thanksgiving Day, I want to encourage all our listeners, make a list of things that you're so grateful for. your biggest moments and your worst moments because they taught you something. It left you with that you now carry forward with more strength. So thank you, Nicole. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. I always love getting on a call with you and discussing because you always have amazing messages to share with our listeners.
Absolutely. I feel the same. It's not a one-way road here. You're giving, I'm giving back, I'm giving, you're giving back. It's so beautiful. I always enjoy this.
Gosh, let's do this again. And maybe really do a separate podcast just about smoking. We don't have many smokers here in the US, but our listeners are everywhere. Maybe their kids are vaping. Maybe we can guide parents, give more value. How can they steer away their kids? Maybe they can watch it with their kids together or something to help humanity live a healthier, more fulfilled, happier lives.
Absolutely. I'm in. Just let me know.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Sprinkled Happiness. And I see you all next week.
See you next week.